Now, one guy who's speaking the truth, as usual, is Julian Assange. So he will be challenged, of course, by the press here. George Stephanopoulos acting as the inquisitor. Let's watch.
Many people said this is far more than political, including Secretary of State John Kerry. He spoke out on this earlier this week, saying that Snowden's revelations are putting people at risk. Take a look.
People may die as a consequence of what this man did. It is possible the United States will be attacked because terrorists may now know how to protect themselves in some way or another that they didn't know before.
Does that concern you at all?
Well, look, we've heard this rhetoric. I myself was subject to precisely this rhetoric 2-3 years ago, and it all proved to be false. No one from the Pentagon, no one from any government says that any of our revelations in the past 6 years has caused anyone to come to physical harm. And the revelations by Snowden, I mean, these are even more abstract.
Look, I don't have a bone to pick here with Stephanopoulos. He's asking tough questions, as he should, of the guy he's got in front of him. Although they never seem to ask that of the government. But okay, you've got Assange here, and so your job is to puff your chest and say, look, I can be a journalist for once and ask tough questions. No problem. The problem is John Kerry. Americans are going to get killed. Terrorists might attack us. Why? Because it was Snowden revealed? What did he reveal? He revealed that we were spying on Americans. And that would help terrorists how? Oh my God, hey Ahmed, did you hear? Turns out they might be tapping our phones. No shit, Sherlock. They already knew we were certainly trying to tap their phones. Like, you think Al-Qaeda was like, oh my God, look at what Snowden says. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Did you know they're trying to get our emails? Of course they're trying to get your emails. What kind of frauds are you? I mean, what a bunch of bullshit. And Assange is right. During the Wikileaks, oh, people are going to die. People are going to... No. During Wikileaks, what we found out was that people were going to die because of what the U.S. government was doing, not because of Wikileaks. Did you see the Apache murder video where we murdered a couple of journalists and first responders who came in? Assange didn't do that. Bradley Manning didn't do that. We did that. As the American government, we did that. By the way, 15,000 extra civilians killed in Iraq. Oh, we kind of hid that too. Oh, we didn't want you to know that 15,000 extra people died. Damn Assange. But Assange didn't kill those guys. Do you know there's a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia, that's trying to indict Assange and other people at WikiLeaks? For what? For revealing information that they got from a source? That's what journalists are supposed to do. Now, they've got most of our journalists locked up. Not physically, but mentally. Oh, the government is right. I don't want to reveal anything. I mean, when Snowden first went to the Washington Post and said, hey, I have this story. Washington Post like, I got to run it by the government first. And it's going to take a long time. And Snowden waited and waited, and then he's like, all right. He went to the Garden, and he said, Glenn Greenwald, turns out you're one of the few journalists left. You want to run this story? He's like, damn straight I want to run this story. And then, of course, Glenn Greenwald, I can't believe it, enemy of the state. Some congressman out there talking about how we should try Glenn Greenwald. If you got a couple of journalists left in the world that actually reveal what the government is doing in a democracy, you got to go get them, right? Now, here's more Assange.
You know, the United States cancelled his passport. Joseph Biden, the day before yesterday, personally called President Correa, trying to pressure him. That's not acceptable. Asylum is a right that we all have. It's an international right. I think that's every citizen has the right to their citizenship. To take someone's principal component of citizenship, their passport, away from them is a disgrace. Mr. Snowden hasn't been convicted of anything. There are no international warrants out for his arrest. To take a passport from a young man in a difficult situation like that is a disgrace. He is a hero. He has told the people of the world and the United States that there is mass, unlawful interception of their communications.
Think about it. You know, the passport, I think a lot of people see that as like, well, of course we're going to do that. We want the guy. We take his passport away. But Assange is right. He hasn't been convicted of anything. It's not even an international warrant for his arrest. So what do you take? Do you know that there's murderers and rapists that are wanted in this country? We don't take their passport away. But they murdered Americans or they raped Americans. Nah, not that big a deal. The biggest crime you could do is against the government. If you dare challenge the government, and we haven't actually charged you, proven it, convicted you, we haven't done any of that. Who cares? Take his passport away. He's no longer In essence, you're saying he's no longer a citizen, a recognized person, because he's done the greatest crime of all. Share information with the American people. You can't do that. You must bow your head to the government. We live in 1984. There are only a few brave people speaking the truth. Julian Assange is among them, and so is Snowden.